Alright, this video is talking about HP tuners. So I just got in my box from Summit Racing. It's HP Tuners MPVi 2 Plus. This is the latest and greatest HP tuner device. This is what comes in the box. So you get your memory stick, your OBD dongle, and your cable that connects from a USB to the MPVi 2. So this is going to allow us to program the computer in the Dodge Charger. So first thing you do, they give you a really nice quick start guide here. So you open it up, it tells you to go to their website and download VCM Suite. You don't want the beta version, you want the latest stable version. So once you click that, you go to your downloads here, you open it up, you say sure. We're gonna open that bad boy up. And then it's going to start installing here. Yep, I read the terms. And while that's installing, what it says next is connect your dongle to the computer with the supplied cable, and it should start downloading the drivers automatically. So we'll grab this and the cable, we'll come over here, I'll put this down while that's working just so you can see a more stable thing here. All right. So this plugs into here like so. And you'll see on our screen that this is finished. We'll hit finish. We'll minimize this. Quit that. And then VCM should come up here shortly. Let's see if it starts on its own. If it does not, then we will open that up. That VCM editor. And now we will connect this here, and we have a green light indicating it is connected. It says it's setting up the device, and let's see here, advanced tuner shop first time users. Let's do advanced, why not? Alright, now that we have this open, it's now ready for registration. A VCM editor or scanner, connect your device. Within the editor or scanner, click on the Help tab and choose verification code. Help tab. Let's go verification code. Okay, there that is. Alright. If you've not done so, create an account at hptuners.com. If you already had an account, log in to my account. So I need to log into my account real quick. So we'll go there. My account. Give me just a second. Alright, once you get your codes, your serial number and verification codes, and you go on HP Tuners, if you don't have an account, you create an account. And then you go under your name and profile, you go to My Devices, and you go to the new MPVi 2, you put in your serial number and verification ID, you hit import, and then what it's gonna do, it's gonna add it in here, and you'll see it shows my serial number, it shows I have 2 credits on this, because that's what I purchased, and we are ready to go. So from there, we got everything set up, serial number and all, right out of the box, it's registered, it's got all my stuff in it. And I don't need to purchase any other credits at this point. We've got the basics set up and we have our account established. So now we'll get into hooking up to the car and reading the tune that's in there now, which is pretty much the stock tune that I've got. Chris at Hotwire Auto did a turned off all the nannies, if you will, tune, but he kept the stock calibration, so it's still tuned for 87 octane and all that. And part of what I'm going to do is I'm going to retune this thing so it's on 93 octane, but also want to tune it where it's in sport mode, because this '06 Dodge Charger Daytona it came out of had a sport mode function, and I want to enable that where it's going to shift harder all the time and have more aggressive tune in it. So again, that's what I'm searching for, so I can do that with this program. So anyway, stay tuned. All right, so I'm in the car. I'll turn on my light so you can see. I've got my OBD port here. I'm gonna plug in my module to it like so. Let's turn this the right way. Now that is plugged in, we'll turn the key on. Okay, now that we have that plugged in, now we can go here in the software and we can click read vehicle. And now we can hit gather info. Let's see what comes up on this thing. All right, I was able to get it to work. What I had to do was unplug my speedometer box here. So there's a power cable going right here. I just unplugged it and then it started reading properly. So basically, if you have something plugged in getting power through your OBD port, you need to disconnect it. So right now it's showing you I've got the unit hooked up and I'm just reading the information. I've actually got two modules here. One's the computer and one's the transmission control module. So it's reading that now. All right, so basically I made a few changes and I clicked through it, and you have to make sure you go through the steps to license it. Even if you're reading the file that's in there from somebody else, which I had, you'll have to check that you license it. I did that. I needed 2 credits to do it, which I had on my controller. It stepped through and it says completed. I didn't need to write anything to the transmission, so I clicked don't write, so I skipped that one. But you see there, it completed it to the car itself. So I'm gonna hit close, and now we're back to here, and I'll show you what I did under engine here. Let's see here. Let me go back to this one, engine diagnostics. Under DTCs, so I kept getting a DTC message for the evap, and you'll see right here I basically disabled those. So I unchecked those. You'll see them in red there. They were checked, and I unchecked those and took those out, so I won't get those anymore. I also unchecked the ABS module because I'm not using that anymore with this new setup with the Russell Drake solution. I don't need the ABS, so I unchecked that and rewrote the file. So now I rewrote the file and we are good to go, at least with the basics. So now I have to learn how to do my whole 93 octane type of tune and all that, but that's the basics to get you where you need to go. So basically you make changes and then you click this button right here which says to write to the vehicle, and once you click that it shows you here your settings, and then you click write and away you go. So that's pretty easy to do. I'll let you know more as I get into more of the tuning aspect of it, but you just make sure it's all plugged in, your keys on so you can talk to it, and that's all you need. Now from there, that's under VCM editor. I'm going to close that out. And yeah, we'll save the tune that I did. And I'll just put on here, yep, it's going to come up February the 3rd. So we're going to change that to February the 4th. We save that. All right. All right, and now we're going to open VCM Scanner, which is the other part of what downloaded with the editor. And that's what it looks like here. And you click here and see your channels like that, right? And this is kind of what you can see. I'm going to crank it up now. And then you click this button to start reading it. And it's actually going to gather information here. See how we're reading information from the car right now in these boxes. So sometimes you have to realize what your limitations are. So I am not a tuner. And the problem is I started kicking around on this HP tuner software And I got on their forums, I started looking, asking questions, and apparently the Dodge stuff is not quite as intuitive as the GM stuff or the Ford stuff. Even in the software, it looks different. So I went through and looked at a lot of examples. And what's funny is they give you examples in the software for free for like GM, Corvette, Camaro, and even a Coyote, but they don't give you anything on a Dodge. When you go to look at it, let's just say it's pretty complicated for the Dodge stuff. So I enlisted the help of a remote tuner called Mass Tuning, and the guy's pretty cool guy. He's already been helping me. He sent me a remote tune. He's even logged in TeamViewer and set up my computer, if you can see here with the tables, how he wants to see it from the generic setup that I had before. So we've already loaded a base calibration tune because I told him I wanted to run 93 octane and have it aggressive and shift firmer and things like that. So we've already put a base tune in it. I just data logged it. I did a cruising data log and a wide open throttle data log for him and sent it to him. And he's reviewing those now. I'd done that earlier with the original tune, so we had something to compare it to. And so now he's looking at that, and when he's done, he'll tell me what we need to tweak or change on it and send it back. And this is part of remote tuning. So when you don't know what you're doing, instead of screwing it up, because this thing gives you a lot of parameters that you can screw up, and I know my limitations, instead of starting to make changes that I don't know what I'm gonna do and what the outcome would be, I called in an expert who does this for a living, and he said he'd be happy to help. And so he has started, well, we're starting with the base and doing some mods to it. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes. But just wanted to give you an update. This is where we're at. He's tuning my car, and he's not even in the United States, which is hilarious. But if you want to look him up, he's on Instagram, MAS Tuning. He's also on HP Tuner Forums, which is where I found him to begin with. And seems like a really, really cool guy. So anyway, let you know more when I get there. All right, so I just got my tunes from the Sultan at Mass Tuning. So to load those, you basically plug in your HP tuners into your OBD port here. Then you plug this into your computer like so. And then you turn on your key. I made this little thing here where I can unplug my ECD speedometer box, because if I don't, it won't connect. So I have to go into this program. And this program is the VCM editor. And I'm going to open okay. So he gave me the base tune, which is the first 93 octane tune he was doing for me. Then he gave me two other tunes, a transmission tune and then another transmission tune he said was more aggressive. Told me to try them and see which one I liked. So you know me, let's just go ahead and skip to the most aggressive one first. And if we're going to change anything in here, we'll go back in here and see if there's anything in here we need to look at. Yep, he's got it edited out here, the cold start idle air control. He's got that edited out. And then I think that was one thing you have to do. And what else did he have in here edited out? Right to the vehicle. There we go. We had to disconnect our other program, and now we are good to go. So now we're writing the tune, which again is the more aggressive of the transmission tune. And while this is writing, you'll see that the HP tuner's there, the light's flashing. It's like a purple light flashing, that means it's communicating back and forth. And you'll notice here, so I wrote to the car's computer, that's completed. Now it's writing to the TCM, which is transmission control module. It's writing the tune to it. All right, it tells me it's now complete and to cycle the ignition. So we will cycle the ignition, just like that. Okay, now we can close this. Now this is done. And we can close that. And now I can go back to this page, I can connect to the vehicle. And we are connected again. And I can hit this button and it'll tell me that it's not running, but we are connected. So now I'm ready to go back out with the car and drive it and see what it does and do another data log on it. And basically just let them know how it runs. If it runs great, then we're pretty much done with this thing. It's tuned for 93 and more aggressive shifts. And if it, you know, for some reason I don't like it or whatever, I can try the other tune and then let him know. I've been doing a little tuning on my own on the transmission itself. As you can see, got my HP tuners up here, and I've got it coming around. I'll show you what I mean under throttle, shifting a lot better. So if you notice that, from the video before, with the tune I got from the Sultan at Mass Tuning, it was lagging and it's kind of just hanging between shifts. Well, he kind of abandoned me on that. He kind of took care of the motor tune, but he said this PCS device I got was probably confusing it. So well, it wasn't a PCS device, it was just a TCM itself needed a little tweaking. So I went in there and I tweaked the settings on it, and I got it where it's doing pretty good now. So yeah, it's it is good to go now. We are straight. So let's try it again. You ready? Of course, everybody and their brother wants to pull out in front of you. Let's see if we can do this again. You ready? Let's get down here. I don't want to just blow the tires off, but because you got the one wheel peel, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, she's shifting good now. I like it. It's nice and firm. I still got a little bit of slip in it. So when I get back to the house, I'll show you the settings that I went in and adjusted. And yeah, I fixed it. So I got my transmission tuned myself, and I got it pretty much where I want it. The speedometer's reading correctly. Everything's working good. The Sultan over at Mass Tuning over in Saudi Arabia did my tune for 93 octane, and it's running real good. It's definitely picked up power now. And the only thing I need now to finish the car off, or power-wise, is put a 373 and a posi in here so you can actually get the power to the ground and turn up a little faster, because these 276 gears are killing me. Other than that, the car runs really well. It's really efficient, runs really good with this Hemi and this 5-speed automatic NAG 1 in it. So I just wanted to show you what it's like when you're riding around tuning your car on the street. Got your laptop, do a little tuning. This HP tuners is really cool. Gives you a few things to do on your own, but I enjoy it. It's nice. All right, believe it or not, I am now officially a tuner. Don't worry, I'm a tuner. That's T-O-O-N-E-R for all you wondering. But realistically, I have now got my transmission tuned, and it shifts van friggin' tastic in this 1968 Charger. So let me show you what I did. All right, a couple things here I want to show you. This is a data log. To get to this, let me just start over here to make it easy. Close this out. All right, so I have two icons down here. I know you like my background picture there. Don't hate. You have two options here. You have VCM Scanner and you have VCM Editor. We're gonna open up VCM Scanner right now. I'm just gonna show you something real quick. VCM scanner is how you can check a data log, however you want to say it. You know, if you're from the country, you say it however you want, data log. And you come in here and you want to open a recent file. So one of the files I did was wide open throttle, and it opens up here, and then you click the play button right here. And then you'll notice, depending on how long the run was, you can go here and just click stop whenever you get to the point you want to look at. So I'll get it about the red line here and I'll stop it. Well, I think I'll stop it. Let me get it back up a little further and stop it right there. Okay, so right in here you can see we're at 5,735 RPM. We're running 74 miles an hour roughly. But I want to show you in this column, depending on how you have your layout set up here. Clearly I have different things that my tuner, the Sultan at Mass Tuning, he wanted to see when he was doing my tune for me. He wanted to see the, you know, the RPM and speed, the normal. Engine coolant at this point was 180 degrees. A couple of questions I had for him. The accelerator position here, it only shows 91.8%. The throttle position was showing 86.3%. The relative throttle position, 76.1. The commanded throttle, 76.1. Desired ratio, 0.0808. So the first question I had was, I was like, hey man, why isn't the accelerated position showing 100%? Why isn't the throttle position showing 100%? You know, I'm thinking 100% means wide open throttle. And so I sent him this. I basically screenshotted that and sent it to him. I said, hey man, is this thing only opening 86% throttle position? Accelerated position, 91%, what's going on? Because when I push the pedal, it's going to the stop, like it can't go any further. He said, no, this is normal. He said on Dodges, that 86.3% means it's wide open throttle. He said by comparison, a Ford, let me see if I can pull up the email here. Yeah, I was asking him about that. He actually said right here, that's how Dodge reads. It's about 87, and for a Ford, it's 82. The FA fueling is the 808 after the PE multiplier. So he reconfirmed everything on there, looks perfectly fine, and it's good to go. So if you are checking your tune, doing it yourself, or having somebody do it for you, those numbers are normal. So if you're like me and thinking, why won't I have 100% throttle opening? You don't have to have that. It's perfectly fine. It's working the way it's supposed to. All right, back to the transmission tube. So you can actually close this out. And now we're gonna open this other icon here, which is called VCM Editor. And once that opens up here, it's gonna actually go to and open your last file. So the name of that file was the TransTune Modified Tutor Tune. I just did something there so I could figure out which one I was using. And this is the trans one here. So you can click it, the trans icon. Not to be confused with that term trans that other people use. Trans means transmission, which is the thing that actually moves the car, just in case you're wondering what that means. And we're going to go in here and look at the general option. And these are the things to look for. So first thing is manual transmission will be disabled. It's not a manual. You want to enable the A580 because that's what it is equipped with. The 4-speed transmission disabled. Okay, that should be standard. That's just the normal settings here. This is where you want to check right here. This is an issue that he had in his tune. Now to find out what he had, you can click this button right here that says compare, and you can open a file to compare. And so I'll open up one of his tunes. Let's say the last one he sent me. And what's gonna happen here is you see where it's in green? Okay, it's in green. And what we can do, we can click this window right here. See where it says show compare file? So if I click that, it shows the compared file. His says 6400 with a 2000 RPM limp offset. And if we click the button beside it, it shows my file, which was a 5600 TCM limit and a 600 limp offset. So this was the main thing I changed. Again, his tune was this one, and it wasn't shifting properly. And I changed it to this, which more mirrored my original tune parameters. And that made a difference, okay? Now I'm gonna show you what else I changed. So we're in my tune right now, okay? So we're gonna go over here to torque management. And what I'm gonna show you here, let's see, we'll go to torque management, we'll go to upshift, And right here, okay, you see where it's in green? That means there's changes. We're gonna click the box again to compare it. In his tune, everything is disabled in torque management, okay? So none of this applies because this is disabled. If we click the box to my tune, I have enabled this because like factory, torque reduction normally is enabled. This is normally at 40%. I have mine at 10%. So even though I have torque reduction enabled, it's only 10% reduction. Those are the biggest things I changed between his tune and my tune. And that made a big difference in how it shifts. So next thing I'm going to show you is in the torque converter settings. You'll see that it's green here. You have a comfort, a normal, and a sport mode. I'm going to put these up here so you can see them like this: comfort, normal, and sport. And what you'll notice here are these tables and how they go. The more you go wide open throttle, the more these numbers change. The lower the number is, the more aggressive the shift is going to be, because that's less slip that the torque converter is going to have in it, okay? So at the comfort one here, you got 40%, 20, and 15, the higher the RPM goes, right? And then in the normal mode, it's 20 to 15. And in sport mode, it's 5% all the way across. So that is how I have it set up in my tune. In his tune, so basically he had 15 across in comfort, 10 across in normal, 5 across in sport. And in my tune, I changed those around to be closer to stock in comfort, a little more aggressive in normal, and then fully aggressive in sport. So again, take a little bit of what his tune was, a little bit of factory, change those around. But the biggest thing that made the difference in the tune, I believe, was back here on the general, the TCM RPM limit. Again, changing this from 6,400 and going back and changing that to 5,600 with the offset of 600. That more mirrored the factory stuff there. I think that made the biggest difference in the car shifting. And again, just turning on torque management, his was off, mine's on. Did that make the biggest difference? Maybe not, but I will tell you the car shifts absolutely beautiful right now. It shifts fast and firm, and I'm really happy with the way it works at this point. So I'm gonna leave it like it is for now. If anything, I might reduce this torque reduction down from 10% to 5%, just to see. I mean, you know, keep the torque reduction in there, but turn it down a little bit more. But right now, that's what I want to show you. That's how easy it is to go in here and enable and disable the stuff. But don't get crazy. Don't change a lot of these tables. If you want to make a few small adjustments in here, just make very small adjustments and go out and try it, because I'm telling you, those small adjustments make a big difference out when you're driving it. Down low RPM, you want to keep kind of the factory stuff so it shifts normal. You don't want to just bang it on the transmission when you're just cruising around. You don't want to do extra wear and tear on this transmission that's unneeded, only when you're going wide open throttle. But I will tell you that the car has definitely come a long way from when I first put it all together. It rides good, it stops good, it runs great. I wanted to share with you some of the tuning. I'm now a tuner, T-O-O-N-E-R, for all you haters out there. You know, I know you out there. But here's the car, and that's that. Hope you enjoyed the video. HP Tuners is really nice. It's got a lot of horsepower, more than I'll ever learn how to use. I had to call in an expert to help me with the engine tune, but I did figure out the transmission tune on my own. And that should wrap up the majority of this video. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to help you out with any answers that I can provide. Other than that, I'll put a link in here to Mass Tuning, the Sultan, who's over in Saudi Arabia of all things. But he did a great job with the engine. The engine runs fantastic. I can't be any happier with the way the engine runs. It runs really good for what I've got. All right, till next time.